How's the weather up there? Can you see Mars from that height? And remember to duck when you walk through that doorway are just a few school-aged burns that tall folks have to endure on a daily basis. Celebrities are already described as being larger than life sometimes. Can you imagine being both tall and massively famous? Well, some famous faces you're used to seeing in films and TV shows don't have to imagine that reality. They're living it. We've done our research and found some of the tallest actors in Hollywood so you can see the bigger picture. Ever wonder how tall Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is? Stick around to find out. Brad Garrett. Towering in at 6 feet 8 inches, this Everybody Loves Raymond star knows what it's like to be on top of the world, being just a few inches shy of 7 feet tall. Joe Manganiello. Maybe not quite as lofty as Brad Garrett, but coming in at 6 feet 5 inches, this celeb of True Blood and Magic Mike fame is a tall order. In addition to being a force to reckon with in the height department, he enjoys maintaining a rigorous workout routine and keeping up with a pretty intense diet. Wonder if his wife Sofia Vergara feels like a hobbit when she's standing next to him. ARMIE Hammer, aka the Winklevoss twins in the critically acclaimed film The Social Network, and for his role in 2017's Call Me By Your Name, this actor measures in at 6 feet 5 inches. Joel McHale, maybe not the tallest actor in Tinseltown, but this Netflix host and stand-up comedian, who you probably remember from Community, isn't exactly a short stack at 6 feet 4. Jeff Goldblum. Another member of the 6 feet 4 club, Jeff Goldblum still looked puny in comparison to the monstrous dinosaurs in his best-known film role in Jurassic Park. But since then, his career hasn't slowed down at all. He recently made appearances in Thor Ragnarok and Isle of Dogs. Off the set, he's a dedicated dad of 2 and a loving husband to his wife, Emily. John Corbett. You probably recognize his face from Sex and the City and My Big Fat Greek Wedding. Corbett stands at a not-too-shabby 6 foot 5. Tyler Perry. You'd think being 6'5" would raise some eyebrows when he's in his alter ego form of Medea. Not to say that sassy women can't be tall, but it is rather unusual to see a lady with that kind of stature. Clint Eastwood. Some people get shorter when they get up there in years, but not Mr. Eastwood. He still stands tall at 6'4", and there's no denying this 4-time Oscar winner is one of Hollywood's most beloved legends. He probably needs no endorsement, but just in case you've been living under a rock, you should probably check out $1 Million Baby or Gran Torino if you want to see some of his best work. Tim Robbins. Speaking of Clint Eastwood, did you ever see Mystic River? Then you probably caught a glimpse of this tall and ridiculously talented actor. At 6'5", he's hard to miss, but you can also catch him on TV shows like Here and Now and The Brink. Josh Duhamel. When he was dating his ex, Fergie, he looked like a giant when standing next to her. He had a full foot on her at 6'4". His professional work includes credits in Las Vegas and the Transformers films. Ben Affleck. Wonder if Matt Damon felt short compared to his best bud Ben when they starred in Good Will Hunting together. Ben is quite a bit taller at 6'4", compared to Matt's 5'10". That height disparity certainly didn't throw off the duo's chemistry, though. Howard Stern. Raunchy radio rebel Howard Stern is probably most well known for his big personality, but he's also rather large in the height department at 6 feet 5 inches. Sacha Baron Cohen. This British comedian, actor, and filmmaker is a part of that special couples club we already talked about. You know, the one where the husband is an entire foot taller than the wife? His wife, Isla Fisher, is 5'3", while the Borat mastermind is 6'3". Dwayne Johnson. Instead of The Rock, they should call him the Tower, because Johnson is only an inch shy of being 6.5 feet tall. He must have been pretty intimidating to go head-to-head against in the ring back in his pro wrestling days. If you think The Rock is big, you should stick around to see who is the tallest actor in Hollywood history. Before we get to that, do us a real quick favor by giving this video a like, subscribing to our channel, and tapping the bell icon to turn on notifications. Vince Vaughn. Who says you can't be tall and funny? Well, actually no one says that, but they especially aren't making that assertion about Vince, who clocks in at 6'5". You've probably been watching his films for decades now. One of his earliest and most celebrated roles in film was 1996's Swingers, and he went on to be a comedy staple in films like Wedding Crashers and Old School. Tom Selleck. When he was in college, he played for the basketball team at the University of Southern California. His height of 6'4" no doubt came to his advantage back in those days. Before landing his most iconic role in Magnum P.I. in 1980, he also worked for a stint as a male model. RuPaul. America's favorite drag queen stands fabulously tall at 6'4", and that's before the heels come on. Jason Momoa. He rose to fame with a little help from a certain show called Game of Thrones. Now he's starring in films like Justice League and Brazen. Do you think his wife Lisa Bonet feels like a footnote at 5'2" when she's standing next to her 6'4" tall husband? Will Ferrell. His height in Elf only made the running gag of him being one of Santa's elves that much funnier. 6'3" is nothing to shake a stick at either. Liam Neeson. At 6'4", Neeson has no doubt counted his height as an asset in his Hollywood career, which has mostly consisted of action roles in films like the Taken series and Gangs of New York. Alexander Skarsgård. 6'4" is tall enough to make his Big Little Lies co-star Nicole Kidman, who's 5'11", look like the runt of the litter. This Swedish heartthrob is also memorable for playing Eric Northman on HBO's then flagship series True Blood, as well as playing the titular role in 2016's The Legend of Tarzan. Jason Segel. How I Met Your Mother, Forgetting Sarah Marshall, and The Muppets are just a few of this tall actor's most memorable film credits. He's yet another member of the illustrious 6'4" club. Chevy Chase. The man has had a career in the limelight for over 4 decades now. He's come a long way since he got his start on SNL back in the 70s. Probably his most recent notable role was in the hit comedy series Community. Chevy has always been a lofty fellow at 6'4". John Lithgow. When he played Lord Farquaad in Shrek, he was a pint-sized villain with an unhealthy dose of ego. But this Yellow Springs, Ohio resident is far from being tiny. He's also 6'4", which almost became a problem when he played Winston Churchill in Netflix's The Crown. Churchill in real life was only 5'6". That didn't matter. Lithgow made it work with his impeccable delivery. You might also remember him from shows like Third Rock from the Sun and Dexter. John Mayer. Deadheads are going to debate until the end of time if he deserves to fill Jerry's role in Dead & Co., but they can't argue with the fact that he's 6'3". Wait, didn't he have a song back in the day where he said he's bigger than his body? Conan O'Brien. It's hard to tell someone's height just by seeing them on TV. For a while, Conan's height was a bit of a mystery. Some sources report he was as tall as 6'8", a claim the comedian and talk show host felt the need to clarify when he said, "I'm not radioactive, I'm not growing out of control, I'm 6'4". Danny Glover. When he was in Lethal Weapon, Danny's height of 6'4" certainly helped him live up to his high-flying, fist-throwing role. Ansel Elgort. When he stands beside his Fault in Our Stars and Divergent cast members, he's the tallest actor on set. Standing tall at 6'3", he also has a foot on his ballerina girlfriend, Violetta Comichan. James Cromwell. One of the tallest actors in Hollywood, but still not yet the tallest, James Cromwell is a staggering 6 feet 7 inches tall. He's also the tallest actor to ever win an Oscar. After 40 years in the entertainment industry, he's still going strong. His most recent films include The Laundromat, Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom, and The Young Pope. Neil Fingleton. And finally, we have both the tallest actor on our list and in Hollywood history. Fingleton is a staggering 7 feet 7 inches tall. His first film role was in 2011's X-Men First Class, and since then played minor roles in Game of Thrones and Jupiter Ascending. His last role was that of Ultron in the 2011's Avengers Age of Ultron film. Sadly, he passed away at the age of 37 in 2017 from heart failure. We're not gonna lie, those are some tall dudes. It's almost intimidating. But do you think size really matters when you're on screen? Or does height not really count for much? After all, some of Hollywood's A-list are relatively short in comparison. Let us know what you think in the comments section. And before you move on to something else, make sure you remember to like this video and subscribe to our channel if you haven't done so already. Tap the bell icon to turn on notifications so you can keep up with all of our latest content.